Hey guys, SickMotion here again, just doing my usual run through of the patch notes. I actually just finished streaming right now, so I'm pretty tired, just trying to get through this before I go to bed so it'll be ready for tonight. And I actually just finished doing this exact same readout, just getting it all ready to put it on YouTube, and I realized in my tired state that I had done it all with my mic muted. So this is kind of take two. I guess I have practice at it. So hopefully get through this quick. Bunch of big wall words text here. New 120 AP item to replace the gap DFG left, hopefully by 5.4. I'm kind of excited to see what that item will be. Sona was like brought down. Looks like she's getting brought back up with an explanation here to where she was. I thought they were toning her down because everyone's going to be trying to play her because the new skin's pretty damn cool. But looks like they're just pulling her back up to where she was for the most part. I didn't do a comparison, but I do kind of remember the movement speed being nerfed a little and attack damage, possibly. So, long story short, I'm looking forward to that Sona skin. Ari, she's still a big problem. She still gets that huge mana, or sorry, not mana, movement speed boost when she uses her Q. It just costs a little bit more mana, which I guess you just have to be a little bit more careful with. The acquisition range on W and R is shorter, but they still do the same things. You just have less room to work with. The only real kind of damage nerf is they took off damage per level at the Foxfire. It looks like 10 at level 1, ramping up 5 per level up to 30 damage base at level 5, which I'm assuming you're maxing your Q. I don't know. I don't know. I still think Ari is a big problem. It's mainly her mobility, not much of her damage. Like losing 30 damage on the Foxfires will hurt, obviously, because there's more than one of them. But I still think her mobility is just too much with that movement speed on Q. I still think she'll be banned quite a lot because she's being banned quite a lot now. Azir finally getting some nerfs in. He's been showing up every patch just with bug fix, bug fix, bug fix. Finally some nerfs. 10 damage per level, ramping up to 50 damage base removed at level 5 of the Q, and it's pretty much what everyone maxes first. So that's going to be feeling really nice if you're playing against Azir. A high skill cap champion, but when played well, can feel pretty oppressive. Soldier stab range was also reduced by 75, which is nice. Once again, for playing against Azir, it'll feel less oppressive. Um, but yeah, it's nice to see like some actual damage nerfs coming off, some numbers coming off, because his scaling isn't the worst, and just the way his playstyle is, if you're good at him and you're able to play his kit properly, it's really hard to deal with. There's some Diana quality of life buffs. If anyone actually played her, they'd probably like that. Fiddle, tether range reduced by 50, so now you just have to run away a little bit less for him to stop draining you. Still does the same amount of damage, just a little bit of nerf there. This is the Gnar nerf. It's obviously a nerf. Your tired debuff lasts for 2 seconds longer, so you can't be getting back into your next Mega Gnar as quick. And Mega Gnar lasts for 15 seconds instead of 19. So on paper, it actually probably looked good because on paper it said it was 15, but it was actually lasting 19. So now it's actually matching up to what the paper said, and it's a 4-second nerf in the mega duration, so you have a smaller window. And I think it's cool how they normalized it. Your tired debuff, 15 seconds. Mega Gnar window, 15 seconds. So it feels kind of like normal. Gragas, I think this is really cool. One of the cool changes here, coolest changes of this patch is his barrel roll now gets a higher base slow. It's 10 higher per level, making the maximum slow a lot higher as well, being 15 possible. By the looks of it, I don't know. I can't number math right now, but 90% maximum slow, which is pretty crazy. That's if they stand on the full charged up barrel, which is also gonna make it do more damage. But 60% slow at level 1. I think the Bruiser Gragas will feel pretty good about that. Obviously, any form of Gragas will feel good with a buff like that, but I've been considering touching up on Gragas. Maybe this will be what pushes me over the edge. Wall of text here to say that Caslin lost 10 damage on Q. His lane phase is a little weaker, his base damage. They were going to buff Cat. Thankfully they didn't, because holy moly, she snowballs well enough as it is in solo queue. Because she built DFG a lot. And they're like, okay, well, she's going to be in trouble without DFG. Turns out she's completely fine without a DFG, just a different build path. But they did update her attack thing. She doesn't attack any faster, but it feels smoother by the looks of it. Kind of what they did with Pantheon, I think, except they nerfed Pantheon's attack speed while doing that. So there's that. This is kind of a cool change. There's a bug with Kennen. We'll start with. Slicing Maelstrom could hit the same target every quarter second instead of every half, so Kennen kind of feels weak for the most part. That's why he doesn't get played that much, in my opinion. But he had a bug that was making him stronger-ish. Stronger bursty, situationally. But this is kind of cool. Any enemies in your ult can also be used. You can use your W if people are standing in your ult, even if they don't have a mark, is what I'm getting out of this. So if the ult doesn't target the one that you want it to target early, just because it doesn't RNG target it, and put that mark on it so that you're able to W, if you use your W, say that there's 4 people on the enemy team that you hit, or you say, just use an even easier number, you hit 2 people. One of them's super tanky, one of them's their AD carry who's squishy. It marks the tanky person first, but doesn't quite mark the AD carry, but you've already pressed W, now your W's on cooldown, and it doesn't apply to the AD carry, so you're not getting that extra stack on them or that damage. So that's a cool quality of life thing, and it's just a cool kind of workaround. It'll raise the skill ceiling of Kennen, being able to work with that a little bit more and being able to control what happens. I think that's cool. Nidalee, no nerfs here. I thought she would get nerfed. She's kind of like sweeping solo queue right now with the way she can jungle. I thought this was a bug at the start. Indicates that the hunted monster is now rooted for 2 seconds. It makes sense with her kit and how the playstyle is that they would be rooted, but it wasn't showing up in the last patch or the tooltip. But I guess they fixed that, and it's how it's supposed to be. It wasn't actually a bug. TF Stack Dex now kind of works from what I read here and what I understand it to be like Jax's ultimate, where Jax's ult will passively scale when you auto attack, and it'll make that thwomping noise, but it won't actually do the magic damage to the turret, but your next non-structure target that you hit will have that magic damage dealt. Kind of looks like how Stack Deck's working, so you can attack the tower, attack the tower, attack the tower, and then when you're done attacking the tower or someone comes in range, you can hit them with the card, dip out of turret range, and then stack it up again, hitting the tower, which is cool. Also, this is a really nice quality of life thing. Casting Gate now sends the on my way ping, similar to Rek'Sai's Void Rush. For anyone new to the character or new to playing with the character, that'll be a huge quality of life buff. Lots of more experienced characters will ping already that they're coming in, but if that doesn't happen, it's nice to have that just automatically there. There's no reason that you wouldn't want that, I don't think. So I think that's cool. Varus got a new skin, so he got a buff so that people buy that skin and Rito makes money. Also, I think the problem with Varus is he just doesn't have the mobility and that's kind of required or something. I guess his ult kind of gives him some lockup, but I still think he's just kind of a sitting duck against a lot of champions. Zyra's plants now show their range when they're grown. I'm not sure if that's only for Zyra and her team, or the enemies can see it as well, but it's some nice clarity buffs. I think that's cool. Spell Shield had a Spell Shield from Sivir, Nocturne, and Banshees had a bug where it was reducing damage from all sources when blocking a spell, which is kind of weird, so they're fixing that bug. Some texture updates. Farsight Orb, I think this is really cool. Now it'll drop a one-hit ward, so if you Farsight someone and see them, it'll drop a ward there and they'll be able to kill it. But if you Farsight somewhere and you don't see anyone, they weren't quite there yet, it'll drop a ward that you'll be able to have continued vision of that area, which I think is cool. It's also not targetable, so it can't be used for ward jumps with certain characters like Jax or a teleport, which might be confusing for players that are like looking on the map. They're like, all right, we got vision there. There's a ward. I'll teleport to it. Wait, I can't teleport to that one. I'm sure there'll be some type of distinction, so it'll be really easy to notice that. I think this is even cooler. The Greater Stealth Totem, once you upgrade it, you pay money. It's not the free upgrade. Holds 2 charges, one every 60 seconds it'll generate. So you can hold up to 2 wards. You can ward 2 places at once, which I think is really cool. And it'll also, you can like use it for characters like Jax to hold ward jumps. You can have up to 2 in there, and it doesn't take up an inventory slot. I think that's really cool, because only having the 1 sometimes isn't enough. Sometimes you need to do 2. Spectre's Cal got buffed. I don't think this is going to make it any more like I have to buy it no matter what. It's going to be like the situation that you would normally buy it before this buff is the one you're still going to be buying it in, but you're going to feel a little bit better because it's a little bit stronger than it was before. Baron, you can no longer walk through it, which I think is nice because sometimes I accidentally path through it on Hecarim, especially because you ignore the unit collision, and then it bounces you up, so you spend more time in the air, not DPS, and then you do actually on the ground. So that's just a quality of life buff, I think, as well. Um, Inhibitors, you weren't doing the 40% bonus ability power damage. Well, 40% damage, 40% of your ability power as damage if it was higher than your AD, which has been like that forever. So I thought it was just intended, but I guess it was a bug this whole time for all these years. You can't back while ignited anymore, or I'm assuming that interrupts backs. I'm not sure, but I've noticed sometimes where people were on fire and they're like, I'm still going back to the base. So that's fixed. Locked camera. There's some changes to locked camera that I didn't like it. I don't know if I'll get used to it or if I'll just play with the old way, but it kind of tailors to what side of the map you're on to give you more vision towards the way that you're pushing. So blue side will have more vision. The character's more centered to the left. Red side, it's more centered to the right. Seems like a kind of a nice thing for people who aren't used to the current way it's set if you play lock camera, or when you do lock your camera. But for me, it was really weird feeling. Nemesis draft is coming out really soon. That'll be cool. I wanted to try it on the PBE today, but no one was playing it, so I'll try that. Um, they're removing the level 30 thing that's completely redundant in uh, the client and updating it with your division, I guess, which is kind of cool. I think that's going to be a lot better than just having like, yeah, you're level 30 and you've been level 30 for 20 years, so who cares? Because it's kind of like where the game starts. Like the level 30 is not really an accomplishment for most players who play the game regularly. They added a new bunch of random league facts for the loading screen, which is cool because I was getting bored of those old ones. Tibbers now gets Molten Shield, different visual effects with certain skins, which is cool, and a bunch of skins. The Valentine's Day skins, Heartseeker Varus is hilarious looking. Warden Silver, Warden Nautilus, Marauder Ash, Marauder Warwick, those skins look real cool as well, so I'm looking forward to those and seeing those in game, even if I'm not the one playing them. Um, but there we go. Managed to get through that pretty quickly. Managed to stay awake through it, so that's awesome. I'm going to be heading to bed here right away. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, I'll see most of you over the course of a stream in the future here. And take it easy until then, guys. Thanks for listening.